Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Ella Maria Nunley-Spaights. I've been active duty Army for 19 years and 10 months. I want to take this opportunity to kind of give you some background about my life before and after Don't Ask, Don't Tell. My upbringing as a child, I pretty much consider myself a tomboy. I played basketball, I ran track, but during my time in high school and as I maneuvered to college, I really didn't know what gender I gravitated to. I didn't know if I liked women more, I didn't know if I liked men more, and I never really took the opportunity to figure it out. So I attended college at East Georgia College, and I told myself I was going to go to school, I was going to get focused, but that ended up not happening. I ended up doing a year at East Georgia College, a year full of partying and procrastination. So I went to my aunt's friends and I told them I need something different. I want to join the Army. And they went with me to the recruiter's office and assisted me in joining the Army. But what they didn't tell me is that my aunt had no idea that I was interested in joining the Army. As a matter of fact, my aunt didn't know, my grandmother didn't know, and my mother didn't know. But by the time I showed up with the recruiter, it was too late. I was 18 years of age and I was able to make a decision myself. So with that being said, I joined the Army. My grandmother and mother, they were not very happy about it at all, but I told myself it was like a spark of freedom. This was me having the opportunity to go be myself. This was me having the opportunity to kind of figure out who I was. And at that time, the recruiter said, hey, don't ask, don't tell. Are you tracking everything that goes on with that? And I was like, that doesn't apply to me. I don't know if I like girls or guys. So at the end of the day, I just want to serve my country. And I did just that. For those of you that know a little bit about the Army, you have drill sergeants, and they have these large hats, and they run back and forth with these hats, and they yell at you, and they knife hand you, and they get in your face, and they make you do push-ups. I did push-ups a lot because I laughed and joked a lot. But in that moment, when the drill sergeants had me down on the ground to do push-ups, I said, I want to do this job. I want this job. I want to be a drill sergeant. So throughout my time in basic training, I took the opportunity to kind of get a feel for who I was, to kind of get a feel for who I gravitated towards, whether it was male or female. And during that time, I gravitated more towards women. So I interacted more with women. I had one woman of interest during my time at training, but being that it was Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I really couldn't be myself. So we secretly wrote letters and we built a connection. Weeks passed, and within that connection, it was brought to my attention that she had another connection with someone else that I slept near in the sleeping bay where we slept. And it was also brought to my attention that they were passing notes. So I took it upon myself to take a break, and I went up under her pillow and I grabbed the notes. Now granted, probably something I should have done, but I had to know, because not only did I put myself out there, but I just wanted to make sure it was true. So immediately I get the letters, I read them, I am furious. Like, I have given my everything to this person, I thought, for 2 weeks, and I am furious. So right after that, I went to the lunch line, and in the Army, you have to stand one behind the other, and you can't turn around. So I got immediately behind the person that was interested in the person I was interested in. And I said, I got your letters. And I could see her ears just turning red. And afterwards, she went to the drill sergeant. She was like, Drill Sergeant, Private Nunley has something that belongs to me. And the drill sergeant was like, what was it? She was like, letters to my mom. And I kind of looked, I was like, okay, this is gonna be awkward. So the drill sergeant had me empty out my pockets, my cargo pockets, my front pockets, my back pockets, and he didn't find a letter. Reason why the drill sergeant didn't find a letter, I had taken the letter and put it in my chest. So needless to say, the letter was never found. But what I can say, in that moment, I had a significant emotional event, because I could have been put out the military. Not only could I have been put out the military, both of the women that I had interactions with could have been put out the military. So at that moment, I went back into the closet when I thought this was my break to kind of be who I am, to kind of figure out who I am. I went back and I just kind of stayed to myself. So leaving basic training and advanced individual training, I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That was my first duty station. I was welcomed with open arms. It was 6 or 7 lesbian women who just gravitated towards me, took care of me, took me under their wings. And this is 2001. And you're not supposed to ask or tell, but they just knew that I was a part of their community, and they took care of me. And then they had a civilian friend as well. We used to go to her house, and she used to feed us, and she allowed us to be ourselves. And then we would travel to like Memphis, Tennessee and Atlanta, Georgia to actually go out to clubs and different events so we could just relax and let our hair down. Now, from time to time, we went to local places, but we only sat at the table, had conversation and had drinks because people were steadily watching us. So upon leaving Fort Campbell, I got my wish. I got to be a drill sergeant. And I was ecstatic about it. I was ecstatic to wear the hat. But the first thing that someone told me was that you're not gonna have time to do anything. So I chopped my hair off. My hair was a fade. Like, my hair was to the skin of my head. And as soon as I chopped my hair off, I came out to my family. Now, I don't really consider it coming out because my aunt kind of outed me to my grandmother. And my grandmother was a very God-fearing woman. But the words that she told me is that I raised you. I already know who you are. And it's okay, I love you the same. So my family accepted me. The Army hadn't changed. I go to be a drill sergeant. And then they pass Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And my first interaction with the group of soldiers that we received was a very flamboyant male soldier. And I stopped in my tracks and my mouth dropped. And I was in awe because Don't Ask, Don't Tell was just repealed a few days ago. And he was just out, open, excited, and motivated. And I envied him in that moment, and I sat and I watched him. And not only did he show up motivated and energetic, he showed up with pink glasses on. And a lot of the drill sergeants had an issue with that. And I said, no, until the Army issues him glasses from the military, he's authorized to wear those because he needs to see. But they didn't necessarily agree with that, but that's what it was due to the fact that Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. In those moments, I seen other soldiers come in, and I just wish that that could have been me, because I spent 10 years of my life in the closet, 10 years of my life not being myself due to the fact that I wanted to serve my country. And even after Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, I used to hear people around me say, I don't want gays in our Army. They're gonna affect mission. And I'm sitting there thinking, I've been in the Army over 12 years. I've never affected mission. I've deployed to Iraq. I've always had your back, but they never knew that about me. So to me, it didn't matter if you were lesbian, gay, bi, or transgender, you have an opportunity to serve your country. And for that reason, once I received a platform where I can share information with the world, I decided to do that. So within my doctoral program, I chose to do my dissertation of challenges of lesbian women throughout the military. I talked to a group of retired women who were in during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and realized that they had some of the same experiences that I had. To realize that they were super uncomfortable just like I was. And also realize that people constantly asked them, were they gay or were they lesbian? And folks weren't supposed to. Those were some of the most uncomfortable moments in my military career. But I wanted to take an opportunity to give the voiceless a voice. I wanted to take an opportunity to let folks know it's okay to be yourself. So now to this day, I'm out. I have a wife and I have a son, and I'm very proud of it. I'm a senior leader in the military. I have never affected mission, and I've always taken care of the people to my left and right. Thank you for your time.